Hello guys, it's the East Coast Economic Update for June the 18th, 2009. A few things I want you to notice. Everything is in motion as we've gathered. Bonds are slowly, they're rising quietly and nobody's really advertising it. But some other things that I think you should keep an eye on, which is going to affect what's happening with the bond markets and with the United States dollar as a whole. Three things, in fact. One, the Obama administration wants to give the Federal Reserve more powers over the financial aspects of Wall Street and banks. That is the equivalent of putting the fox in charge of the hen house after a few chickens have been killed by the fox. So this is going to be a back and forth. It's funny enough that it's going on right around when Ron Paul is getting a lot of support to audit the Fed, and it is said that the Fed will shut down the entire economic function if an audit happens. I will put over here a few other items. The Ron Paul thing. Another thing that really ticked me off was a congressional investigation with the House asking basically the Attorney General who's in charge of the Fed, which the Modern Mystic gave YouTube. I'll have it over here. It is appalling, but it just shows you they're allowed to count under the Attorney General is allowed to count pencils, tables, desks, anything they've given to the Federal Reserve, but they can't count where the money is. They can't make accounting for the money, but she won't admit it. You'll watch it, it's just going to get you crazy. But it's kind of funny that the Obama administration fires the Attorney General in charge of waste, fraud, and abuse, and at the same time asks or is requesting, and I think they're going to try to circumvent that, to give more power to the Federal Reserve over every aspect of banking, over every aspect of business in Wall Street, any public company, which is fascism, which is what Mussolini called corporatism. When you have a government running businesses, it stops competition, because basically, no matter how incompetent you are, you're always going to get bailed out by the government because you work for the government. The government never fails, quote unquote, because it always prints money. Now, after saying that, that is the beginning of the end of capitalism as we understand it, if this continues. Another thing that I find very interesting, I'm going to pop it up on my computer, excuse me. And of course I'll have it listed on my info box. Two things. Russia requested a call to monetize gold. In other words, create another Bretton Woods, setting up a system where it's backed by gold, and gold is at a set price, something that I was discussing in a few videos earlier about the mixed metals standard. So, and China and the other BRIC countries, the BRIC countries to China, basically what's going on there is that they're agreeing to trade with each other and make the yuan, or they're talking about making the yuan, the quote-unquote reserve currency, even though they're not calling that. When you're trading with your own monies across this way, and the overseer or the reserve currency is being blocked out, that is the end of the reserve currency as we understand it. It is not going to be a slow death, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a death of 1,000 cuts. Every time, people are not going to say this is no longer our reserve currency, pointing at the dollar. They're just going to ignore it until the realization is we're not the reserve currency any longer. But I think by February, God forbid, by September, the realization will hit. By October, it will be probably a reality. So it's a very short video. Basically, what's going on is things are now in a holding pattern. Volumes in Wall Street are dropping, which is actually normal for the holiday season. The holiday season being the summer season from May to September, because people go on vacation. Even bankers go on vacation. So it's interesting that you're going to have the B team or the C team doing all the trades. So there's a lot more opportunities for manipulation from now into July. Probably by mid-July, the A-team will be back, and just like it did last year with the crash in September, when the A-team came back, the A-team knew that the crap had hit the fan, and they had to start making major moves. Most of the big companies typically pull all their money out and put it on the sidelines in May, and they can continue to hold it. There has been a number of corporations, including one insurance company, that is starting to hoard gold. I call it hoarding. They call it hedging. They're hoarding. If you've never held on to gold before, and you're putting about 10 or 15% of your your total market share in gold, that's pretty substantial. That shows a lack of confidence in the dollar. It shows a lack of confidence in the Dow. It shows a lack of confidence in this economy. I also would like to throw out the possibility that we will be at around 11% unemployment by February. I've been looking at the numbers on Shadow Stats. I've been looking at the numbers that they've been showing both on Bloomberg and on Yahoo News, and been comparing notes between those two sites, or those three sites. Technically speaking, I believe they'll probably announce that we're at about either 9.8 or 10.2 by July 1st, or July, whatever it is, July 3rd, when they announce the numbers. And by September, I think we'll be easily over 11% by that point. So just something to throw it out to you, see if it comes out to be true based on paperwork and my analysis. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Everything's well, still on the diet. Thank you very much for all your support. I am now, I was a bulging over a size 38 waist, and now am comfortably wearing a 36 in 2 weeks. That is unbelievable. I'm going to wait another 3 to 4 weeks and then start to lift weights. I didn't want to mess up the scale system. I really wanted to lose the weight. So once again, thank you very much for your support. Let's just see, I'm drinking, and I'm completely off of coffee. For those of you who have chastised me for drinking coffee, I am completely off of coffee, and I'm only drinking green tea, organic green tea. All right, guys. Peace.